Hey guys, we're Rob and Allie from Grounded Life Travel, and we get a lot of questions about what we do and the way that we live. Today, we're going to answer those for you. All right, a popular question that we get is, how do we pick where we're going?
And one of the ways that we do that is we try to figure out where the cost of living is low, and we usually try to go to places like that because we get more for our money. Secondly, we factor in places that we actually want to go, or places that we can earn money, because one of the ways that we earn money is through photography, so we try to go to places where we can take awesome pictures and do videos. So we kind of factor all that together and put it in a pot and see where it leads us. And so far we have a pretty great trip planned for this year. So I also get asked, how do you pack and what do you pack?
That's a tough one. So what we did is, for packing, we wanted to each carry just one checked bag and one backpack. So we have minimal, because we're moving to so many different locations, it's hard to drag around a bunch of suitcases. So we each have one checked bag and one backpack that we carry with all of our electronics and all of our expensive equipment we keep with us, of course. So to pack, the plan is, first of all, of course, we look where we're going, and oftentimes we're going to places with different climates, so that makes it a little bit more challenging because we're packing for the cold and for the hot. On this particular trip that we're on, that's 6 months long, we're gonna be, in cold temperatures like Iceland and Norway to warm temperatures in the desert like Dubai. So we had to pack for kind of both of them. So we just take enough clothes that will get us through 3 to 5 days for each type of environment. And then we just reuse those items. Most of the Airbnbs that we're in do provide us with a washer, so we're able to wash our clothes along the way as well. Helps us keep it down to a minimal packing. So let's talk about how we book our Airbnbs, since we're talking about that.
So we look about 3 to 6 months ahead of time, because if we found that if you wait longer than that, the great Airbnbs are going to be gone. In every city there are several Airbnbs that are just better and better priced than what's left over at the end if you book last minute. So for Airbnbs, unlike hotels that drop the prices, you don't want to wait till the last minute. You want to book out as far as possible. So we find out where we're going, we look on Airbnb, we usually narrow it down and only stay in Airbnbs that are hosted by superhosts, because we find that they're going to give you the best service, they're going to fix any problems you have. And we have had problems in some places. They've just been fixed right away by the host. So that is very important. And then we just try to find something that's unique, that we love, maybe a pool, maybe a view, just something that's really gonna capture that location for us when we're there. So another question we get, especially that I got, was how are you handling the food in different cultures, and have you been able to find enough food that you like?
Okay, that's a good question. So a lot of places, because we're staying in Airbnbs, we are able to get food that we can make on our own. And most places have provided us with the basics of different meats and, of course, vegetables and beverages and treats that we like as well at the convenience stores. But it has been pretty easy to find things. I mean, we adjust as we go along. And of course, they do provide us, some of these American companies are in almost every country we've been in, so that makes it easy to have a little bit of home with us while we're traveling away. So the next question that we get is, how do we make money?
We make money through investments that we made. We have put most of our money that we got from selling our house, selling our car, selling our possessions into the stock market. And we're earning about $700 a month in dividends from that. And we've also made close to $16,000 this year just in the appreciation of the stocks. We have taken some of that money out to help pay for our kids, who are both in college. On top of that, we are content creators, and we make money through selling our pictures mostly. So we have pictures that we've taken back in the States, and we're adding to that as we travel. We're taking pictures of the Acropolis, we take pictures from the cruise ships, Basically, anywhere we go, we take pictures and we're selling them and earning money that way. Obviously, also we're on YouTube and we have some books. We have some clothing lines, merchandise that we sell through the modeling and photography that we do. So most of our money, actually all of our money, is made online, passively, and we're making money even while we're not working, which is great. Do you guys fight being together 24/7?
So I guess a lot of people have asked us that for a lot of years, haven't they? Yeah. But the thing is that we've actually, most people don't realize this, but we've actually worked together all the time for almost the entire time that we've been married. So almost 24 years we've been working together and at home, and we also homeschooled our children. So basically all four of us were together all the time while we were raising our kids. So it's really no different than any other time, and we have kind of a unique relationship because of that we've cultured along the way. So we really don't fight at all. We just kind of, we're pretty easygoing when we're traveling, and so we just kind of go with the
main
flow,
thing that helps us too is that I stay up very late and wake up later than her, and so we each get a few hours of alone time without the other every day based on our sleep schedule. We don't get up and go to bed at exactly the same time, which I think is helpful.
Yes, that is very true. Okay, what about airfare? People ask us about airfare. How do we find airfare? It can be the most expensive part of going somewhere. How do we go about that? Okay,
so for flying within Europe or from country to country, not in the United States, we use Skyscanner. And you can just put that into Google, Skyscanner, and they're going to show you the best fares for Europe, because usually in Europe you're not doing round trip, you're doing from Venice to Santorini, from Santorini to London, from London to Reykjavik. So you just want a bunch of little one-way fares, and there's a lot of small carriers that you can't find all their websites on their own. There's a bunch of airlines I've never even heard of, but Skyscanner has them all and will show you the best fare, the quickest way, and just the best way to get there. If we're traveling internationally, which is usually only once or twice a year from the States overseas, we generally try to book, just do a lot of trial and error. I just go to Orbitz and type in, okay, what if we start in Atlanta and we first go to Bucharest, then we're going to end our trip in Dubai, so I don't want to have to go back to Bucharest, so we do a split flight where you can choose different starting and ending points. So our ticket this year was from Atlanta to Bucharest, but then the return flight was from Dubai back to Atlanta. And there's really no way to do that efficiently, but you will save a lot of money if you just go into Orbitz and type in every single combination you can think of to figure out what's the best combination. So for instance, when we went to Asia, we started in Las Vegas and we flew to Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong we went to Bangkok, and then from Bangkok our return flight was back to Chicago. So that was all on one ticket, and that whole ticket cost us about $700, which was amazing. If you go on there, go on Orbitz and put in like a multi-leg trip, put in everywhere you want to go, you'll eventually find a combination that's probably cheaper than a round trip ticket anyway. So that's the way we do it, and it works out really well. Do you work out and do you meal prep?
Well, meal prep is a little bit more challenging, but we do kind of plan out our meals. So it's not like meal prep like we were doing before when we were home in our containers and everything, where it was easy to just pull out, but it's easier when we just plan out basically the week's meals or however long we're going to be somewhere. When we're somewhere for a month, like here in Athens, we'll plan out, like per week, and that helps us to kind of stay on pace. And then as far as workouts, we try to get places that have gyms, but we haven't this last couple months have access to a gym. And so we just do workouts at our apartment, and someplace like Athens, you're gonna walk a lot of hills, and we do walk a lot of places, so that gives us some cardio. And then we do a lot of body weight exercises, and we have exercise bands with us too. All right, so last but not least, we get asked a lot what our favorite thing and our least favorite things are about living location independent like we are now. So what is your favorite and what is your least favorite thing?
My favorite thing is seeing a lot of different locations. So I love photography and I love just being in different places and getting to see amazing things, something new and amazing every day. That's my favorite thing. My least favorite thing is probably having to pack up all my stuff. I have a lot of photography equipment with me and it barely fits into my backpack, and they always make me take everything out at the airport and show them every little piece. And so I don't like packing up all my stuff because it literally barely fits in my backpack and it's pretty heavy. So once I get somewhere and I can get it unpacked, I like that, but putting it back in, that's hard.
I get it. We're gonna try to take a picture of all of the equipment and we should show them all of it and show them a picture of it. Okay, my favorite thing is, if you know me, you know I like to talk. So I do love meeting new people. It's really cool to meet so many new people in every culture that we're in. We learn a little something new about it when we're living and experiencing life like they are. And then probably my least favorite thing would be that we don't get to see our kids and our family as much as we do when we're home in the States. So those are my favorite and my least favorite. I think those are all of, did we get through all of them? Yeah. We got through all of the questions that you guys have asked. If you have others, make sure you add them at the bottom in the comment section and we'll answer those for you in our next question and answer session.